Hello there. My name is Louis Wieland, and for the last 35 years, I have published Atlanta Community Profiles magazine that is distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. The First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta is the organization that has all the listings of homes for sale and more listings for commercial properties. And they have a cooperative agreement with multiple listing services in many cities throughout the United States, making it the second or third largest multiple listing service in terms of listings and cooperations with other listing services in the United States. And so for the last 35 years, I published the magazine that they distribute, and it's in all the brokerage firms and in many chambers of commerce. Then realtors use it as a source of information about Atlanta for home buyers and more businesses. And the website is atlantacommunityprofiles.com. So the magazines are on that website, along with a resource directory for products and services for home buyers and businesses in Atlanta. I'm also a commercial realtor with KW Commercial, and I focus on leases, office leases, land, and also multifamily. I work with a lot of investors who are interested in buying multifamily for long-term investments. And my email address is Lou, L-O-U, at louwieland, WIELAND.com. So today I'm interviewing an old friend who's not old. I'm old. He's young. Friend, a long time friend. Mayor Hallman from Hapeville. Welcome to the show, Mayor. It's great to have you back. Appreciate it.
Lou, thank you very much. It's great to be back with you and catch up with you.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Before we get into the heart of the show, I just wanted to give you an update on the state of the real estate market. And there are, so far this year through September, there are 45,000 single-family detached closings. And that is a decrease of just 1% over last year, despite the interest rates, which are starting to go down, of course. There were 95,000 for closings for attached, and that is a decrease of 4%. The average detached sales price through September was $523,146 versus $516,120, and this represents an increase of 1%. So basically, not much change year over year, and the same is true for attached. So then, basically, the real estate market is healthy despite the higher interest rates. So of course, we had one decrease already recently, and we'll schedule for probably another one coming up. The show today is devoted to looking a little bit into the city of Hapeville, and we're going to interview again, as I mentioned, the mayor of Hapeville, who's been on the show before, and if you don't mind, I'll just call him Alan, because instead of mayor, since we were kind of friends for many years. You were elected mayor in 2003, re-elected in 2007, 2011, 2015, 19, and 23. I don't know if you were the longest serving mayor of any city.
I am the longest serving mayor for the city of Hapeville, that's for sure. There are other mayors in the state, around the state, that have served longer than I have, but it's been an honor to serve Hapeville, and it's great to be in my sixth term.
Well, we appreciate your service, Alan, and it's not it's not unnoticed. So you're also co-owner of Crown Security, and congratulations on your 35th anniversary. That's extremely honorable. Can you just give us a brief profile of Crown Security?
Yeah, Crown Security is a locally owned security and fire alarm systems company. We handle security systems, fire alarm systems, camera systems, card access systems, etc. Our specialty is big box warehouse fire alarm systems and monitoring. We deal with a lot of big property management companies across the state, have accounts from Gainesville North down to Savannah South, and serving about 3,400 accounts. And it's been a real honor to have been able to keep a business going for 35 years. I've got a great business partner and great team, and I'm very proud of where we've come as a company over the last 35 years. It's been a great run.
Based in Fayetteville, by the way.
Yes, sir. We are out of Fayetteville.
Great. So just a quick bio, past president of the Exchange Club. You've served on the council there since 1998 and mayor since 2003. In June, you were presented with the Outstanding Georgia Citizen Award by Representative Kish. Pardon?
That was a few years back.
That was? Okay. Then in June, you were, all right, I confused that with June 27th, the annual Robert E. Knox Jr. Municipal Leadership Institute for completion of that program. That's what I was thinking about in June. So, sorry about that. But also recognized for achieving a certificate of excellence of 120 hours of training for elected officials. So, Alan, we're Facebook friends, of course, and I see a lot of your posts on there and one of the things on your website that struck me was residents are actively engaged in your community. And boy, from the posts on your Facebook page, I could say that is very true. And the slogan or the brand for Hapeville is the most livable city in Atlanta. The population, the nighttime population is 66,691 people, but the daytime, what is it roughly? I looked on ChatGPT to get the daytime population of Hapeville, and it gave me a figure that I don't think is correct. What is the daytime?
It's hard to ascertain that number because so many people that come through Hapeville are working close to Hapeville over the airport and whatnot. So probably in the 15,000-20,000 range, daytime population with all the airport related. A part of the northernmost part of the airport is actually located in the city limits of Hapeville. So we would count those employees in their daytime population. I haven't gotten a recent number, so I can't give you an accurate daytime population, but it's substantially more than our nighttime population.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. Neither can ChatGPT when you pull it in.
Don't believe everything ChatGPT says.
No, I know.
It's a great resource. It's a great resource. I've started using a little bit in my business, and quite fascinating actually, but it's not always accurate.
It's a good guide, though. I'd like to use it to bounce ideas off. But the city itself is 2.5 square miles, and home of part of Delta Airlines is headquartered there, and Porsche's North American headquarters is there. The home of Chick-fil-A, right? You started?
Yes. The very first Chick-fil-A was in Hapeville. True, Kathy started his restaurant. I believe it was 1946 is when he started. And it started right there on Central Avenue. And Chick-fil-A's just recently, a few years back, built a very large restaurant in place of where the other one was. That's quite the tourist attraction.
Did they tear down the original one?
They did. Actually, technically, the building they were in before wasn't the original. The original was next door to that in a small house years back. But they built an 11,000 square foot restaurant but it also incorporates the architecture from the years of development of the Chick-fil-A. So it's kind of a tour of the whole Chick-fil-A legacy when you go in that facility.
And so, yeah, it's definitely a point of interest.
Yes, sir.
How far? You're only like a few miles from downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, we're about 3 or 4 miles south of Atlanta. I mean, the city limits is our front door. So Metropolitan Parkway comes into Atlanta, comes in from Atlanta to Hapeville, changes to Dogwood Drive when it gets in Hapeville. So city of Atlanta is right at our front door, but we're about 5 miles from downtown Atlanta. And of course, the airport is directly at our back door. So, and we're sandwiched by Interstate 85 and Interstate 75. So.
In the magazine, my editor, wrote that you are part of the state opportunity zone. How does that affect you?
We had an opportunity zone when Ford closed their assembly plant. We got an opportunity zone over and on their former site. And of course, that's pretty much built out now. So there were some tax credits that were offered, payroll tax credits that were offered through the state for job creation. So I believe when Porsche came in, they took advantage of that and some of the other development over in that area. Porsche's headquarters itself is technically on the Atlanta side of the former Ford site, but they recently completed a track expansion, which is in the city limits of Hapeville. They also completed a restoration center and a parking deck, which is in the city limits of Hapeville. They also have a repair facility that's for dealers, or for Porsche owners, but it is a model repair facility for their brand across the country.
Anyway, it's a pretty exciting venue. If you haven't been down there, I guess they have a tour, right? Don't they?
Yes, they have tours available, and of course, you can come do the driving experience. They charge for the driving experience. I'm not sure of the price structure for that. Depends upon which experience you choose. But it is it's a great venue for folks to come down. If you buy a new Porsche, you could take delivery of it there. You could take it on a spin around the track. And of course, the track expansion is phenomenal. There, Porsche Cars North America is a great corporate citizen and a great presence in our community. We're very proud to have them. Our newest addition is the Atlanta Postal Credit Union, which built a 100,000 square foot office building in Hapeville, which is directly across the street from the Dwarf House on South Central Avenue, Porsche Avenue, and they have their headquarters there that was formerly located where the main post office is on Crown Road. So we're delighted to have Atlanta Postal Credit Union as our newest corporate resident in Hapeville.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, it's a beautiful building.
It's so the median sales price in September for Hapeville was $378,950, according to FMLS, which is a 52% increase over the last 3 years. So it's pretty impressive growth. And so that's, as I mentioned earlier in this show, that median price is $525, so $516, so no, $523. I'm sorry. So represents a phenomenal bargain price when you would consider all that the city offers. So anyway, we could talk a little bit about, I have a lot to cover here, but wanted to talk about the Performing Arts Center. I wanted to talk a little bit about Main Street and some of the downtown live events. And I've listed some of the, like the chili cool-off.
Yeah, we just had the chili cook-off this past weekend.
That's pretty cool, but then you have the Dia, I don't speak Spanish, but Dia de Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos, this Day of the Dead celebration. That's coming up at next weekend, actually.
Okay. And then you have Praise in the Park, right? What was that? Went
Yeah, Praise in the Park was a few weeks back, and that was a partnership between our law enforcement community and our faith community, and that was a great gathering to get the faith community behind our law enforcement folks to support them.
You have a 5K race, right? You foot race.
Yes, we just approved last night a 5K race for Delta Airlines. We also, several people will come and ask for street closures and whatnot for various races. So we recently, a few weeks back, had the Fremont Foundation. There was a 5K race there, and they are a foundation started by Dr. Fremont and his family, and they award scholarships to folks, and so that's a fundraiser for them. So I was honored to be the grand marshal for that this year, and actually walked the 5K this year. So that was good. It was great to be there. It was a great event.
The Happy Days Weekend, what's that about?
Happy Days Weekend is a festival we started about 15 years ago, and folks come in on a Friday night. We have local performers that grew up in Hapeville that play on Friday night, and it's kind of become a de facto reunion for folks that grew up and went to high school here when we had a high school. The high school closed in the mid '80s, but it brings back folks. And then we have music on Saturday night as well. So it's a 2-night event to just draw out community. One of the things we're focused on is community engagement and community involvement, because we feel like the more things the city can sponsor, that just helps us build community and helps us share kind of the magic that is Hapeville.
Wings and Strings and the gallery.
We have Wings and Strings, and we have a butterfly parade. It's probably the most fascinating event we have. That's in, I believe, next March. And Chantel Ritter, who is quite known for putting these events together, that event brings thousands of people to the city, and it's done at night. Folks come in and they decorate butterfly type costumes, so you'll have a lot of lighted costumes that people are wearing, and it's kind of like a little Mardi Gras type celebration. It's really a lot of fun and brings out, like I say, thousands. That probably is the biggest draw of anything we do, and that is done in conjunction with our Main Street Board.
Okay, let's, well, I was going to go to the Main Street program because, let's see, I had a note here that was pretty interesting. The city of Hapeville is, well, you're updating your comprehensive plan. I would like to talk about that, but the LCI in Hapeville, the Main Street program, guiding future growth of LCI study by creating a vibrant, workable, mixed-use community that helps the city reach its greatest potential. A key component is community engagement, and that word, that statement is like a branding, community engagement for Hapeville. I think it's a source of.
Absolutely. Like I said a moment ago, when you have events that bring folks out, we're celebrating music, we're celebrating Hapeville, celebrating community, having fellowship together. It's a wonderful experience that helps keep Hapeville vibrant. And I think when you bring people together for events like that, it's really what community is all about. Is making sure that, folks come out of their house, they bring their kids, they enjoy a good, safe environment where we can all get together and celebrate life and celebrate the town that is Hapeville.
It's amazing that such a cohesive, family-oriented town, of that size is so close to downtown. That's what's so amazing to people.
That's our secret sauce, in my opinion, is that we've managed to, being that close to Atlanta, being that close to the airport, the world's busiest airport, that we've managed to keep that small town charm. And that's really my main goal as mayor, is to make sure that we keep that charm, that we don't lose it in the midst of growth.
Well, another thing to bring up is the Georgia Main Street program originated from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. In 2003, Hapeville was the only city in Georgia to receive Main Street designation. And can you talk a little bit about that and the vision and mission for that?
Well, of course, Main Street. We have a Main Street map that covers. I don't have it right in front of me, but Main Street is a program that helps work to support local businesses. Again, they work with us on a lot of our festivals. We've had 2 art crawls this year that were sponsored by Main Street, what we call art crawls, gallery crawls, where we have multiple venues where artists are displaying their work, and folks will come in and kind of take a walking tour of Hapeville to explore those artist venues. And that's one of the programs that Main Street does. So it's designed to help bring people to our downtown area, to our Main Street area, and promote local businesses and help them. Anytime you have events and you can draw people to your local businesses, help them gain some business from that, you're succeeding with the goal and the mission of what the Main Street program is all about. It's a national program that we have been a part of. Like you said, I believe 2000 was it 2000?
2003.
Yeah, that was the year that we joined the Main Street program, I believe. So
Talk about the Hapeville Performing Arts Center, which I know is another great source of pride there.
yes, we have a partnership with the Academy Theater. Years back, we had the opportunity to purchase what used to be a hardware store, on Main Central Avenue, our downtown street, and Academy Theater was formerly in DeKalb County, and they came. We worked a partnership with them, and they came in, and the city redeveloped the hardware store building and the building. There were 2 buildings side by side, and it's a very intimate venue for performing arts. And the arts has really been the key to success for Hapeville. It helped Hapeville revitalize the downtown area when we brought the Academy Theater in. So it's been a great partnership working with the Academy Theater to bring the performing arts to Hapeville. Again, one of the most important things for a small city, especially a city as small as Hapeville, is to make sure you have a reason for people to come to your community. So you take something like Porsche Cars North America and their track, that brings people here. You take something like the original Chick-fil-A, that brings people here. But for nighttime, you need events that bring people here. So having that performing arts venue is just another vehicle by which we can attract people to Hapeville.
Okay, so I was looking over your website, Alan, and the one on your website, which you might want to take a look at if while you're watching the show, is go to their completed and current development projects. It's very impressive. I can just run through a list here. Village
Yes,
Walk.
sir. I've got the list in front of me.
Yeah, Village Walk at the 748 Virginia Avenue, Chick-fil-A Dwarf House, as we talked about earlier, North Central Avenue, the townhouses. You have.
Yeah, we've got right now. We've got on commercial development. We have a small law office is being built on Dogwood Drive. We have townhouses under development in the Solis, what's called Solis Hapeville, 305 mixed-use family units there. We have 58-unit townhouse development under construction on Dogwood Drive right now. We have Asbury Park Phase 2, which is a townhouse development in our Asbury Park area. We have the Villages, which is on Sunset Avenue in Hapeville, which is 25 single-family homes. We have Stillwood, Hapeville Residential Development, which is 62 single-family homes. I mentioned earlier, of course, the Porsche Cars North America expansion. The We have a commercial mixed use on Virginia Avenue, 22,000 square feet there. Again, I mentioned we have a Thai Heaven restaurant that was completed in late 2021. I mentioned again the Dwarf House expansion, Atlanta Postal Credit Union. We have the Embassy Suites Hotel, which is completed in 2021, Town Place Suites Hotel, which is completed in 2021, the Village Walk, which you mentioned earlier, the landings at Virginia Park, and Shirley Estates, which is 23 townhome units on Dogwood Drive. So we have a lot of development going on right now. The one thing, you were talking about real estate prices earlier. The one thing that's happened in Hapeville is because of land costs going up so much, the only way that the development can work in a lot of our areas is by having, a higher level of density than we normally have. Hapeville's primarily in the past was a bedroom community, and so the density is kind of new for folks, and quite frankly, it can be scary for some folks that are like, all this density is going on, but you've got your comp plan, you've got your LCI studies, and you've got all the things that kind of control the future of your development. In your comp plan, you're going to address your future land use, and we've recently had a updated comp plan a couple of years ago, where it made some modifications to the comp plan. So the development is. We're quite frankly, we don't have a lot of undeveloped land left. Most everything in here in our 2.5 square mile footprint is either developed or under development right now.
Is there anything in that comp plan that kind of stands out as something that we ought to just mention, or we're having a overview?
The one thing that we're trying our best to do with development, the promise that we've made to our residents is that we will keep the density on the outskirts, the outer perimeter on the south side of Hapeville, so that the density doesn't creep in and absorb our single family neighborhoods. That the single family neighborhoods in Hapeville are such a part of the fabric of our community. We want to make sure that we enable those neighborhoods to stay intact, and that density that we're seeing in certain areas doesn't creep into the residential single family homed neighborhoods that we have, the established neighborhoods.
Okay, well, yeah, good luck on that. I know that you have a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's not always easy, but the one main goal that we're working through with the comp plan and LCI as well is to make Hapeville a walkable, bikeable community. We're trying to get people out of their cars, and we all suffer from transportation overload in the metro Atlanta area. So we're trying to do our best in a small way to help get folks out of their cars, get more walkability and more bikeability throughout our community. So we try to incorporate that when we're looking at development, make sure we have a good sidewalk system, good park system, et cetera.
Well, good luck. I know you have a lot of pressures to
It's a lot to juggle, for sure.
Builders and developers would love to come in there, I'm sure, and just go crazy.
Yes, sir.
Because of everything you have going for you.
Make sure that we keep that. Keeping the balance is very important. It's a very important goal of mine, is to make sure we keep a balance.
That's good. I'm sure your citizens will appreciate that.
Yes, they will.
Well, thank you for being on this show, Mayor.
Lou, it's a pleasure. It's great to catch up with you. Good to see you.
I'm glad you could take a few minutes. I know you're extremely busy, but let's keep in touch, and also good luck with all the challenges that you have ahead managing. It's almost like the smallest big city, in America.
Well, but I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud that we've been able to grow. But as I said earlier, keep that small town charm, that small town feeling that just makes Hapeville unique. Because if you lose that, you lose your soul, and you lose your community. And we want to make sure we keep that sense of community. Our tagline is a community with a heart, and so I want to make sure we keep our heart and we don't lose that in the midst of growth and expansion.
Good. Well, that's a good tagline. I like that, community with a heart and a small town feeling next to a giant.
Next to the giant metropolis. Yes, sir.
It's really hard to maintain. Well, thank you. Continued good luck and success, Mayor. Appreciate your time.
Good to catch up with you today, Lou. Take care.
Have a good day.
You too.
And thank you for watching. Have a good day.